Welcome to the Plato Paradigm, a paradigm shift in reading Plato's dialogues. Episode 82, Meno 72d to 73a. Meno doesn't quite understand what Socrates is talking about, the eidos of arete, the aspect of virtue, so Socrates tries to help him. Potronte peri aretes monon soi huto doke, o menon, alle men androsenai, alle de gnaikos, kai ton alon, kai peri hugieias, kai peri megethus, kai peri ischuos hosautos. Does it seem to you to be thus just about arete, O Meno? That there's one for a man, one for a woman, and for all the others, or also in the case of health and size and strength in the same way. Alle men androstoke soenai hugieia, alle de gunaikos, e tauton pantachue dos estin, e an per hugieia e ante en andri, ante en allo hotoun e. Does there seem to be one health of a man and another of a woman? Or is there the same eidos aspect everywhere if there is health, whether it's in a man or in anybody else? He aute moidoke hugie iage enai kai andros kai guneikos. The same health seems to me to be of a man and of a woman. Socrates has manipulated Meno by adding the proviso, if indeed there is health, because then Meno will think of one health, one thing which is health, and this therefore is what is in a healthy man or a healthy woman. It's interesting that Socrates doesn't try to manipulate Meno into believing that there is one arete for all people, which he could have done by the same method, by saying, if indeed there is arete, then there is the same arete in a man as in a woman. Socrates can't use this manipulation with size. He can't say, if indeed there is size, because even short people have size, unlike unhealthy people who do not have health. This is probably why Socrates skips size and goes straight on to strength. Ukun kai megathos kai ischus, an per ischura gune e to auto ede, kai te aute ischui ischuraestai, togar te aute tuto lego, udendi afere prosto ischus enai he ischus, e ante en andri e ante in gunaiki, e doke ti soi diaferen, uk emoige. So, size and strength as well. If a woman is strong, will she be strong by the same eidos aspect and by the same strength? When I say by the same, I mean that strength doesn't differ with regard to being strength, whether in a man or in a woman. Or does it seem to you to be different? No, it doesn't seem to me. This looks clear enough, although it isn't all that clear. Socrates put in the proviso, if the woman is strong, and this might lead Meno to think that Socrates is saying that if the woman is as strong as the man, then they have the same strength. What Socrates really should have said is, any woman, weak or strong, has a certain strength. And this strength in itself is the same sort of strength that is in any man, weak or strong. The misleading addition of the proviso, if a woman is strong, may help to explain why Socrates skipped size. Because he couldn't say, if a woman has size, then her size is the same as the size a man has. It would actually have been clearer with size to explain what Socrates should have said. It doesn't matter if a woman is short or tall, she has size. And it doesn't matter if a man is short or tall, he has size. And men and women both have the same thing, which is size. Socrates is famous for using induction. This is a method by which we collect details, and from those details we arrive at a general conclusion. This is different from deduction, which begins with a general idea, which is then divided and divided and divided until we reach details. In the present case, it would be nice to say that Socrates is attempting to convince Meno that there is one eidos of virtue, arete, in every person, by showing Meno that there is one eidos of health, one eidos of size, and one eidos of strength in every person, no matter who they are, how old they are, which gender, social status, and so on. If Meno agrees without being forced that health, size, and strength all behave in the same way in every person, then it should be easier for Socrates to convince him that arete works in the same way. However, Socrates has not used induction. He appears to have used it. Among other deficiencies of this apparent induction, Socrates hasn't talked about all sorts of people according to age, gender, and social status. He's only talked about a man and a woman. He has also made it appear, from talking about them, that there is one health, one size, one strength. Not by giving each term a definition, but simply treating each term as a thing, the way Meno had treated arete in his original question. Does Socrates now manipulate Meno in a similar way to believe that arete is one thing in a man and a woman? He actually does his best to make Meno disagree. This is also a form of manipulation. We just don't know yet what Socrates is playing at. Hede arete prosto arete enai dioiseti, eante en paidie, eante en presbyte, eante en gunaiki, eante en andri. Emoi gepos tokeo Socrates tuto uketi homoion enai tois allois tutois. But arete, with regard to being arete, will it differ whether it's in a child or whether it's in an old person, whether it's in a woman, whether it's in a man? To me it seems, Socrates, that this is no longer similar to these others. The main difference between the example from strength and this example is the addition of a child and an old person. But the formulation of arete with regard to being arete is just like the formulation strength with regard to being strength, which was used in the previous example. Mentioning the child and the old man together with man and woman is almost guaranteed to remind Meno of his magnificent answer, in which he gave many types of arete. Of course, Meno would say that this example doesn't seem to be the same as the others. Meno is even correct to think that the arete example differs from the others. The big difference is that health, size, and strength are all states, but arete as Meno has formulated it, has become arbitrary tasks appropriate to different types of people according to age, gender, and social status. Even so, Meno's virtues could be formulated in a general principle. Meno, following Gorgias, has already actually summarized what arete is, whether true or not, but all these aretae may be summarized as the appropriate task, or in the case of the woman, the appropriate task done well. If we think about it, the appropriate task done badly should be an example of kakia, vice. Therefore, the task itself is not at issue. This is not what arete is, and from now on Socrates begins to abandon the idea of arete being a particular task. Tide, ukandrosmen areten eleges polin eo dioikeen, gunaikoste oikian, egoge. What then? Weren't you saying that the arete of a man is to manage the polis well, and of the woman, the household? I did indeed. No, he didn't, but we've seen this already, that interlocutors are not very good at remembering what they said in the conversation. Meno did not say that the arete of a man is to manage the polis well. He used well only with the woman's arete. He also used the verb dioikeen, to manage, only with the woman's arete, not with the man's. All he did was to do the affairs of the city. What Socrates has done, however, is to create parallels. The man and the woman both seem to manage, and to manage well. And Socrates is giving Meno the opportunity to abstract from this parallel that arete is either to manage or to manage well. Since it's Socrates asking the questions, he forces the issue slightly by asking some leading questions. Arun hoionte eudioikein e poline oikian e alo hotiun me sophronos kai dikaios dioikunta udeta. Well then, is it possible to manage, whether a polis or a household or anything else, if managing not with self-control or justly? No, not at all. Socrates has abstracted the activity of managing from the parallel, but the interesting part is what he's done to well. He has turned well into two adverbs, with self-control and justly.